This is Community Conversations on 1230 The Buzz, your talk station, 101.5, 101.1 The Wiz, and 100.3 Cincy's R&B station. I am Miss Ebony J, the Queen of Queens, here with you for Community Conversations, where we come to talk about the problems happening right here in our community and how nonprofits are making a difference. You know it's Women's History Month, so I got a whole brand new attitude because I'm bringing nothing in but queens to talk about the great and awesome, amazing things that they're doing. And I have in here with me Miss Kamisha Chambers, the CEO, are for Charis. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm great. I won't complain. I won't complain. I'm glad to have you here to talk about your
Yes.
organization. Tell everybody what For Charis is.
Yes. So, once again, thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here with you. As you stated so eloquently, my name is Kamisha. I am the president and CEO of For Charis. For Charis is a 21, almost 22-year-old brand. We started in 1999 under the leadership of Miss Mamie E. Harris. She's still around. She retired in January and says she is passing the mantle on. For Charis originally was a faith-based, so we're classified as a parachurch organization, but our sole focus used to be strictly HIV, AIDS counseling, testing, and referral services. And so we decided to take a moment and really look at why a person was coming to receive an HIV test. And we actually did a root cause analysis for this. And so what we recognized is individuals coming to receive a test, that's just the surface issue. It's so many other underlying things that are going on with the person. And so we said, hey, since we pride ourselves, part of our brand is strictly on solution-based programming. We have such a strong inroads with a lot of churches and faith leaders in the Cincinnati area and beyond. And so we said we just want to have a program put in place to help deal with the root cause of things. And so what we recognized was trauma was at the root of it all. And so 90 to 95% of our clients were dealing with unaddressed trauma. And so now we're in a place where we're paying homage to our founder. We're still honoring holidays, but we've really stepped into trauma-informed care training services for professionals as well as the community.
Oh, I like it. So, hold on. I want to say that when you told me trauma is like the most leading thing that's caused, that's shocking to me because you would
Yeah,
think, oh, people just out here having sex.
yeah.
But no, they're dealing with trauma. And so they're using sex as a way to cover up how they're truly feeling.
Absolutely. There were a lot of women who were IV drug users, a lot of men too, who were intravenous drug users, who were having unprotected sex, who was exchanging sex for drugs or money because they were masking some pain. And it could have been from childhood, adolescence, adulthood. It was their way of coping with some really traumatic life situations. And so that was their thing, be heroin or marijuana, alcohol. It was an overindulgence in that and in sex, and that was their way of coping. And when they came to, they realized that that was their way of coping.
What made you decide to start this kind of organization?
Right. So we we have received this question so long. So Miss Mamie was a former pastor's wife, as well as so she was a pastor's wife, but she was a co-pastor too, and she was over the worship and the arts. And she retired early, and her husband told her, "You can retire. That's fine." She used to be an administrator at the VA in Cincinnati, and he said, "But you will not sit around and bore me or bug me. You need to find something to do." And so she actually was watching a documentary and saw a woman in the 80s who was a pastor's wife who had received transfusion. During the 80s, they weren't screening for blood like that. And so the lady unfortunately contracted HIV because of the blood transfusion. Family was totally excommunicated from the church. The children couldn't come to Sunday school. It was so much pain inflicted on that family, in addition to having to deal with the actual physical health issue around HIV. And so Miss Mamie saw that and she said, that is not who the church is. That's not what the church is supposed to be. And she stepped up to the plate to try and bridge that gap between the church and the HIV community.
And you all have just been going ever since.
We have, and our niche is dealing with, we do culturally competent programs. That's been our thing for 2 decades. We are unapologetically focused on the Black community and communities of color.
What are some of the services that you all offer?
Yeah, so we still provide HIV and hepatitis C education. So if people call and have questions and things of that nature, we can counsel people. We still have our CLIA waiver, so we can provide testing when necessary. And right now, we're doing a lot of virtual programs. So we're working with different partners like UC Health, and Gilead Sciences has funded some of our initiatives. And so we're doing all kinds of community-based joint testing initiatives. We're doing community conversations virtually. We're hosting prayer and empowerment series for the faith sector. We're doing all kinds of initiatives for young people. We're making sure that we have set aside programming for women only, where we can really address the importance of normalizing sex and sexuality for women, and having women have a safe space to talk about what that means, what they're doing with each other and with experts, and also talking about how to protect themselves. So we have our hands kind of in a lot of different pots, Ebony.
I see. And people get uncomfortable when you start talking about sex.
Very.
So I think that the need for your organization is definitely there, because nobody really wants to talk about their experience, what they're struggling with, maybe their insecurities. Nobody wants to talk about it at all, but yet we do end up affected by sexually transmitted diseases and diseases that can kill us.
Yes. Yes. You know what's so interesting to me is we are in an over-sexualized society. You can't look at a cartoon, a commercial, or anything without there being heavy sexual innuendos there. And sometimes it's not even your window. It's sometimes smack dead in your face. But it's the reality of the matter that we are in such an over-sexualized society. Why is it so taboo for us to talk about it when it's something that hits us in the face every day? I've never been able to understand and reconcile that.
I don't even talk about it with my girls. I don't want to be, it's uncomfortable, I feel. I'll talk about it with my doctor if I have to, especially if I have a situation.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I can just remember growing up and they would ask you questions and it's just like, no, don't ask me nothing. Yep. You're invading my privacy. But as you become an older woman, you learn that when you're right there with your doctors, that's the time to be the most honest, because they are there to help you and to make sure that you are protecting yourself.
That's right. That's right. And the other thing that really, just to add to your point, the faith community, we're really trying to step up with For Charis and get these conversations going in the faith sector, because it's been statistically proven where there are a lot of pastors and faith leaders that struggle in the area of sex and sexual sin. And it is like the porn shops and porn sites are heavily frequented by pastors and faith leaders. Statistics show that. They tell us that. And so we know that at the top in these churches, they're struggling. So we know parishioners are struggling too. And the thing is that the church is supposed to be that full hospital that holistically helps people. And we can't talk about the spirit and your emotional needs and your mental needs and not address the physical and what happens to us. We are human. We are physical beings. It's not like as soon as we get in holy matrimony, then emotions come up and feelings come up, sexual desires come up. No, those are things that we deal with teenage years. And so we need to talk about what that means. And what better place to do it than the church?
Right. Right. Because they don't want to talk about it there, but that's where a lot of the issues are at. That I think that she was genius putting that idea together, the church putting together a nonprofit that deals with these issues. I mean,
yeah,
genius, honestly.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now, how do people join the organization?
Yeah, so do you mean for like any of our programs or testing
Yeah.
or
Like if
yeah.
I, maybe I don't have AIDS or HIV, but I want to learn more about it, or maybe I do have it and I need the support. Is there like some kind of screening I have to go through to join?
Yeah, so if it's dealing with actual support, a person can give us a phone call or they can email us and we can reach out. We can do a consult the person over the phone to assess what their actual need is and where they want to go. And because another part of our brand that is so strong is networking and community and building in relationships and having mutuality. So if we can't provide the resource, 9 times out of 10, almost 10 times out of 10, we're going to get that resource for the person. So yeah, they can give us a call or an email and we can help out in any way.
If you're just tuning in, this is Community Conversations on 1230 The Buzz, your talk station, 101.5, 100.3 Cincy's R&B station, and 101.1 The Wiz. I am Miss Ebony J, the queen that does the most for you, and I'm here, of course, having real talk community conversations with Miss Kamisha Chambers, who is the CEO of Charis. And this organization is really here to make sure that we have awareness about what's going on in our AIDS community. AIDS, HIV, these things are affecting our community, but what we're learning is because people do not have information. And this organization is making sure that people are safe, people are informed, and that they have access to the resources that they need so that they can continue living the life that they're supposed to live. Miss Kamisha, what has been the hardest thing about having an organization like this?
The hardest thing, in all honesty, has been the pushback that we get from a lot of individuals because we are dealing in some uncomfortable territory. Here we come talking about sex and sexually transmitted disease, and boom, in your face, and doing that, hosting HIV testing events and initiatives at churches and all of that. So people always from day one thought something was wrong with us, thought we were weird, thought we were crazy, one of our founders had HIV. So it's always been folks in the pushback and the you shouldn't be doing that type space has been the biggest challenge. But we've been able to make it through.
What would you, I'm not going to say I'm surprised. Especially with the church, you know how that go. They had a problem when I showed up and I had a button too low. It goes down at the church. They got something to say about everything. But,
yes.
What has been the most rewarding?
Oh, that's an amazing question. The most rewarding for us has been the fact that we have been able to cumulatively touch over 50,000 lives in our work that we have done. We've worked from a program level, we've worked at the policy level, we've been in DC. For years shaping policy around HIV and funding. So being able to just hear the testimonies of so many individuals that have been touched by this organization has been by far the most rewarding gift for us.
Where do you see the organization going in the next few years?
Ooh, in the next few years, I am looking at how we are going to continue to live in the space of where we are right now, but really growing and building more relationships with pastors. And so we did our first national campaign, our first national event in October of 2020. And that was our first one. And I believe that it's our first of many. And so we're going to continue to walk in that space, continue to grow in the work that we're doing with the trauma-informed care, continue to do work with help learn what they have been learned, or what they've been taught, I should say, all this time, and just really challenging folks' thinking and helping to deprogram some stuff and help reprogram some stuff for some people so that they can live their fullest potential and healthiest life, and not be prohibited.
Do you all have any current partnerships with any organizations?
Yes. So we have, oh gosh, we have partnerships with one in particular. So I can break it down on so many different levels. So we have different sectors that we're connected with. So yes, starting off, United Way of Greater Cincinnati. That's one of our partners. We've done some work with them in 2020. We also have partnership with Gilead Sciences. We also have a partnership with this beautiful organization called Shalom and Pole. It is an organization that is designed to help us to live a slow lifestyle and to know what it means to really have the fullest life. How do you live your fullest healthy life? What does that look like? So a partnership with them.
Name again, because it broke up.
Oh, sorry. Shalom and Pole.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We work with a lot of the Divine Nine. I myself am a member of the beautiful, amazing organization Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
That's why you got on your red, huh?
Girl, I can't go nowhere without my red and white, honey.
Oh, I should have had on my blue and white then. You're gonna get me in trouble with my Star Wars now.
Yes. I love it. But you know what though? It is, you do so much amazingness. So I absolutely adore the Phi Beta Sigma and Zeta Phi Beta family. At first I was like, they are not a part of me. But now I'm just kidding. I love y'all.
Period.
What a T. So yeah, and then multiple churches have been a great partner of ours. So we have a lot of partnerships and supporters within the community, and we're grateful.
Has it been hard with COVID, still keeping the organization up afloat, or has it just kind of like, how have you all been able to still maintain?
Yeah, what's so interesting is we have not missed a beat. In all honesty, COVID has been a really good year for us.
And great news.
Yeah. And it's because I believe, in all honesty, Ebony, is because we have a faith like none other. We truly believe that God is gracious to us. God is merciful, and God gives us the resources because we're doing ministry work. And so we have not skipped a beat in 2020 at all with COVID. We've received monies from all sorts of places. Oh, and the Greater Cincinnati Foundation is one of our friends and partners too. Let me acknowledge that. So, because they gave us some funds last year. So yeah.
That's what it's all about. Maybe somebody is listening, they feel led, they have questions. Maybe they need some support, maybe they need some resources, or maybe they just want to make a donation. Where can they go to learn more about your organization?
Yes, so our website is www.4Charis, and it's the Roman numeral 4, so IV-CHARIS.com. Or we're on Facebook at B2B Crusade. And we're on Instagram. We have a marketing and PR communications consultant who always gets on me about this because she knows the stuff like that. I struggle. But we are also on Instagram. It's Back to Basics and 4Charis. We're on all three. Yes.
So make sure you all connect so you can go see what they have going on, learn more about what they're doing. And you all have an event coming up, right?
We do. We have a couple of events. One that includes you, which I'm super excited about. Yes, our joint testing initiative on April the 10th with University of Cincinnati's Emergency Intervention Project. Ryan Sickles is the director there, and she happens to be a Delta. So she
You ain't right.
she and I are partnering together to do a joint. I just had to throw it in and see what happens. We're doing a joint COVID and HIV testing initiative that you and your beautiful blue will be representing for us. I'm excited about that collaboration. It's going to be from 10 to 3, and we're posting that up on our website once we get the location secure. So that's going on, as well as some community conversations that we're going to be having this month. One on next Wednesday, the 10th, the one around women and sexuality, and then another one on the 24th around the COVID vaccine with Jocelyn Chapman at University of Cincinnati Research Center.
So make sure you all go to the website so that way you all can stay connected and you can get the dates, the times, the flyer, all the information you need. So that way, again, this can be a year that you're happy with, that you're proud of, and that you stay safe. Okay, we want you to be out here not spreading anything, not the COVID, not AIDS, not STDs. We want you to be safe this year. And so thank you so much again, Kamisha, for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you so much. I look forward to working with you next month.
Yes, me too. This is for Charis, again, the organization. Kamisha Chambers is the CEO. To learn more, make sure you go to our website so you can check it out. We have all the links up for you. This is 1230 The Buzz, your talk station, 101.5, 101.1 The Wiz, and 100.3 Cincy's R&B station. I'm Miss Ebony J. See you next week.